869 a holy healer of Russia was born by the name of Grigory Yefimovich Rasputin. This Siberian muzhik, which means peasant, was freakishly advanced in terms of physical appearance. He could stand up and walk before his first birthday. He was slow to speak, and was nicknamed Snivlers, because he cried so often. Around the age of 12 is when young Grigory gained his title of a mystic being. Cows produced more milk if he was nearby. He healed a lame horse, and he seemed to have the gift of prophecy. Rasputin biography. This was, as stated previously, his first genuine act, but multiple sources say that even as little as a month old young Grigory was committing these amazing acts of healing. When he was 16, being a teenager, he was hooked on this fantastic girl that also happened to be a general's wife. He came over to share in some conversation when 4 maids threw water at him, causing a large amount of embarrassment and a great topic of conversation later. At the age of 17, Grigory finally settled down and married a plump muzhik, and they had 3 children together. Although things were not very clean, Grigory was accused of a copious amount of crimes, but multiple whoopings, beatings, and even prison could not keep this man down. After all, he was Rasputin. Edge, Simon Munn, February 24, 2014. One crime committed was that he stole a horse. No one ever knew why he needed the horse, but he sure did steal it. After his life of crime, good old Rasputin made his way to a monastery, but he didn't like it that much, considering that most of their pastime was spent whipping themselves to the point of bleeding, but he stayed anyway. He then had a vision and walked all the way to Mount Athos, and also claimed to have traveled to the Holy Land on foot. In Kazan, a Tatar city, he discovered one of his new favorite things, a bathhouse. Oh, and he had the time of his life in these bathhouses, getting clean. Yeah, let's just say that. After this, he made his way to Kiev, where he met the wife of the Tsar's cousin. The Tsar was an emperor of Roman until 1917, when they got rid of Tsars to make way for a president. Rasputin visited the wife of the Tsar, whom had a very sick dog. Luckily, Rasputin was able to heal the dog with his amazing healing ability. The dog was better in almost a full day. His spontaneous recovery was in no doubt an act from the holy healer Rasputin. Yet another one of his many accomplishments. Edge, Simon. Rasputin was a man of 2 faces. He had this holy man persona. He is also enormously dissolute, massy one. After hearing the news of the amazing recovery of the dog, the Tsar seemed to need help from the Mad Monk, a nickname given to Rasputin by many people. Alexis, the Tsar's heir, was a hemophiliac, meaning that any sort of open wound on the body would clot up with difficulty and would bleed and bleed for the longest of times. Rasputin, being the holy healer, he took the offer for many reasons. Some say that it was out of the kindness of his heart, others say because the Tsar's wife was a fine-looking lady, and as the kids say nowadays, had it going on. After Rasputin laid his hands on the boy, he began to improve and finally recovered. His influence with the royal family remained strong after that. In fact, his growing influence, and the envy this caused, led to his death. Brainerd, Jennifer, a friend of Rasputin, informed him to not go out, that there was a plot against his life, and he probably shouldn't leave home tonight. But these pleas were for none, and Rasputin went to the home of his murderer, the prince of the Russian kingdom, Yusupov, and the other co-miners, conspirators that nobody cares about, so they will not be named at all. If only he would have listened, he could have stopped his horrible, unbearable demise. It is stated that earlier that day, Yusupov bought enough cyanide to kill most of Russia and himself, all for this one womanizing man that he and most men could not stand. This man was Rasputin. He starts to eat the cyanide-laced cake and wine, eating and drinking, into a stupor. They start to ask him if he is feeling okay, dizzy, or even sick, but he claimed no every single time. This made Yusupov and the rest of the co-conspirators very, very angry. He and his friends pulled out their guns and shot him multiple times. They finally believed he was dead. They themselves then went and celebrated. What happened next was something none of them could have ever expected. Nobody really knows how it came to be, but when they went to go fetch the body, it was gone, and outside of a window was poor Grigory. He was badly injured and was crawling in the snow. The co-conspirator ran to get the others, and they finished off Rasputin there in the snow. Although he was just passed out from the brutal beating he had received, Rasputin was rolled into a cockpit and sent flowing down the river where he finally died, of drowning. Simon. It seemed that, on top of being able to heal others, he could heal himself. It is so hard to think that such a man even existed, yet there is too much factual evidence that Rasputin actually existed. Throughout Russia there was a split of people whom believed that he was an amazing healer of the sick and diseased, or he was an evil womanizing witch whom cursed Russia as he groggled that last bit of water. Each side has its reasons to believe what it does, although most American students do not get to learn of this extraordinary man, and it is a crying shame. Multiple movies, books, and even games have come about with at least a reference to the mad monk himself, Grigory Yefimovich Rasputin. There was multiple things written about Rasputin. The most notable was the smash hit by Boney M. Rasputin, which appeared in their album Night Flight to Venus, a famous line from the song being, Ra Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. There was a cat that really was gone, referencing his adultery which he committed to hear Alexis' mother. A movie explaining the life of Rasputin was made in March 23 of 1996. It featured such actors as Alan Rickman as Rasputin, Ian McKellen as Emperor Nicholas III Rasputin, Doc, Servant of Destiny. A great amount of journals of people from Rasputin's time period have been found and translated. Most are free, but the others will need to be purchased. Other books are books debating if Rasputin exists, or doesn't, was really the best womanizer, or even how he died. In terms of video games, Rasputin was an available fighter in the game World Heroes. For the Neo Geo, the devoted fanbase has stated that Rasputin is a sorcerer and has all the weird and off-the-wall moves that anyone can imagine. He is also capable of pulling off one of the longest combos in the entire game, so there is that. All in all, Rasputin was a large bearded live machine who could also heal and take cyanide, gunshots, and even a brutal beating from a person he never expected. His legacy still carries on through music, movies, and yes, even old video games that no Sanw individual will ever want to play. A pretty good trade-off for all of the horrible things that were done to him. Works cited. I'm Rasputin, Dark Servant of Destiny. Simon Edge, Rasputin, Jennifer Brainerd.
Okay guys, so I'm going through here really quickly. Yes, I do see the multiple mistakes that I made when typing this, such as previously at the point when it says yeah, the wife of the Tsar, and it should be the wife of the Tsar's cousin, whom had a very sick hunting dog. Luckily, Rasputin was able to heal the dog. Enormously after hearing the news of the amazing recovery. Yeah. And there was a ton of spelling errors. There were multiple things written about him that should be songs about Rasputin, smashed up by Bonium. Lover of the Russian Queen. It featured such actors as Alan Rickman, Ian McKellen, a great amount of journals. And then here we go. Or even now, in terms of Rasputin, it should be Rasputin, was an available fighter in the game. Good lord. In the game World Heroes for the Neo Geo, the devoted fanbase. I don't even know how to spell it. Sorcerer is a good fighter. I just had to hear this again. I have to hear it again.
A great amount of journals of people from Rasputin's time period have been found and translated. Most are free, but the others debate term geo. The war combos in all, Rasputin was a large bearded live machine who could also heal and take cyanide, gunshots, and even a brutal beating from a person he never expected. His legacy still carries on through.
Yeah, we get the point. Love machine, bro, being from person. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this, okay? Goodbye.